Morning, students. Today we'll begin the third chapter, The Little Girl. Before we begin the chapter, do you feel you know your parents better now than when you were much younger? Perhaps you now understand the reason for some of their actions that used to upset you earlier, but now you understand it better, that why your parents used to scold you when you did something wrong. As you grow up, you understand your parents more. Now, this story is about a little girl whose feelings for her father change from fear to understanding. Will probably find an echo in every home. It happens with us also many times. So, this is a usual experience of each and every one. We'll begin the first chapter, and the writer, the author, is the Catherine Mansfield. In the first paragraph, to the little girl, he was a figure to be feared. Figure to be feared means a person whom we feel afraid of. Now, this story is about a little girl, as the chapter itself says. So, the girl actually feared the own father and avoided. Every morning before going to work, he came into her room and gave her a casual kiss, to which she responded, "Goodbye, father." And oh, there was a glad sense of relief when she heard the noise of the carriage going fainter and fainter. Fainter means becoming light down the road. So, when the father came to the room, he used to kiss the little girl. The girl was very much afraid of the father. So, she used to just say nothing else but, "Goodbye, father." And when the father actually left for work, the girl used to watch him go in the carriage, and at that time she used to feel a sense of relief. In the evening, when he came home, she stood near the staircase and heard his loud voice in the hall. "Bring my tea into the drawing room. Hasn't the paper come yet? Mother, go and see if paper's out there. And bring me my slippers." These were the things when he came back at home after the work, when he used to come and he used to ask all these things to the Kezia's mother. The name of the girl was Kezia. Kezia's mother would call to her, "If you are a good girl, you can come down and take off your father's boots." Now, the girl was actually afraid of the father, and the mother used to order the girl to come downstairs. Slowly, the girl would slip down, means come quietly, because she was very much afraid, the stairs. More slowly still, across the hall. Very quietly, she used to come without making a noise or getting any attraction from anyone else, and push open the drawing room's door. She used to open the door quietly. By that time, he had his spectacles on and looked over them in a way that was terrifying to the little girl. At that time, when the father used to look at the girl used to be frightened. "Well, Kezia, hurry up and pull off those boots and take them outside. Have you been a good girl today?" That was what the father used to ask. And at that time, the girl used to reply, "I don't know, father." She used to stammer. She used to be so much afraid of answering to the father that she couldn't even speak properly. See, "You don't know? If you stutter like that, mother will have to take you to the doctor." Now, father used to say that if you stutter also means to stammer only, not speaking clearly. The father used to warn her that if you speak continuously like that, you will be taken to the doctor. She never stuttered with other people, had quite given it up. Given it up means stop doing it. So, but only with father, because then she was trying so hard to say the words properly. That is what happens when we are sometimes very much serious, or if we want to talk something with a lot of attention. At that time we even stutter a lot, because we are trying hard to do the thing right, and at that time we create a problem. So in front of the father she used to not speak clearly. What's the matter? What are you looking so wretched for? Wretched means unhappy, because the girl was so much afraid. The father, whenever he saw the girl was very much unhappy, kind of. So the father used to notice it and always ask the girl, "Why are you so wretched about? Mother, I wish you taught the child not to appear on the brink of suicide." On the brink of suicide means almost committing the suicide, means he was so much serious in front of the father. Here, Kezia, carry my teacup back to the table carefully. That was what the father used to say. He was so big. His hands and his neck, especially his mouth, when he yawned. Now, when he yawned, for the girl, the father was a huge figure. But she was afraid. She used to imagine him as a huge person. And when he used to yawn, she used to feel more frightened and look at him. And while looking at the father, she used to feel very much tensed. Thinking about him alone was thinking about a giant. Now, when thinking about the father alone, she used to think as if the father was a giant. On Sunday afternoon, grandmother sent her down to the drawing room to have a nice talk with the father and mother. But the little girl always found mother reading and father stretched out on the sofa, his handkerchief on his face, his feet on one of the best cushions, sleeping soundly and snoring. So, when the grandmother used to tell that, go and spend some time with father and mother. And when the girl used to go down, especially the mother used to be reading, the father was tired due to the work. And when the girl used to see the father, he used to be stretched on the sofa, putting the handkerchief on his face and trying to relax because he was tired out of the work. Now, she sat on a stool, gravely means seriously, watched him until he woke and stretched and asked the time, then looked at her. Don't stare so, Kezia. You look like a little brown owl. And when the father used to wake up and see that the daughter is sitting quietly in front of him, he used to say, don't stare at me. You look like a brown owl. One day when she was kept indoor with a cold. Now, once it happened that the girl had a bit of cold. Her grandmother told her that the father's birthday was coming next week and suggested she should make him a pin cushion for a gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. Now, it so happened that father's birthday was on the verge. So, grandmother had a good idea and she told that you prepare a pin cushion. It is a small cushion made out of cloth where you can fix the pins also in it. So, pin cushion for the gift out of a beautiful piece of yellow silk. So, the grandmother gave a good idea that it would create a good relationship between the father and the girl. So, grandmother brought a yellow silk cloth and she gave her the idea laboriously, means very hard workingly, with a lot of hard work, with the double cotton. The little girl stitched three sides, but what to fit in? Now, first of all, she started stitching it. Now, she had to stuff something inside so it could get the shape of a cushion. So, the little girl stitched three sides, but what to fill in it with? Now, what to fill inside? Because still it was only a cloth. That was the question. The grandmother, out in the garden. Now she started working hard because she wanted to give that pincushion to the father. So the grandmother was out in the garden and she wandered, means went into here and there, moving by chance into mother's bedroom. Now for she was looking for something to stuff it in. So she moved here and there, and then she went into mother's bedroom to look for scraps, small pieces of clothes, paper, etc., that we can stuff something inside. Rough pieces of clothes. On the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper. And when she went into the mother's bedroom, she found that there were lots of paper lying there. She gathered them up. She was very happy because she didn't find anything to put into the pincushion, and there were lots of paper lying there. So she was happy that, and she got idea that I will use these papers. So what did she do? She gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case. Then shoot up the fourth side. What did she do? She took those pages, tore them up into small pieces, and then she stuffed all the pieces inside, made the cushion very fluffy and good looking, and then the last side which was left, again she used the needle and thread and sewed it up on the four sides. So she made it look like a cushion. Here we just pause the lesson. We'll begin the next part of the chapter again. Till then, thank you.